PBA already happened for 5 times already. This one is the 5th time, right?
Yep, that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, correct.
So congratulations first,
Thanks
like
so
for
much.
these milestones already.
With a view to create a new pipeline of talent into the Polkadot ecosystem. So instead of fighting the pool of existing developers and trying to bring them to your site to contribute to your ecosystem, the idea was actually to develop your own blockchain engineers that could create and build the Polkadot ecosystem and make it stronger.
And this is, I think, really interesting for us to also trial new formats with the curriculum, with assignments, with asynchronous and synchronous learning mixed together in one program. And yeah, hopefully should usher a new wave, the PBA. So I think we've had, Polkadot 1.0. I think we've also had PBA 1.0 in a sense, and we're kind of transitioning to PBA 2.0 now.
Polkadot Insider is here today in Singapore for the PBA or Polkadot Blockchain Academy. And I am lucky enough to be here today with Max and Alexandra for them to share about the academy. Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks, Pia. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, it's great to be with
Pleasure,
you.
pleasure. So before anything, could you please tell us about your background and also like your journey to PBA?
Sure. So, hey, I'm Max. I've been with the Polkadot Academy specifically now for about 1.5 years. But before that, I was working with Parity for about 2.5 years, and I was mostly focused on technical recruiting. So that's my professional background, is as a recruiter. The experience at Parity was really cool because I joined when the company was still about 120 people. I was the first in-house tech recruiter there, so I got to see the growth of a lot of the tech organization. And now a lot of the people that I worked with at Parity are our current faculty here at the Polkadot Blockchain Academy. I'm sure we'll get into that more, but joining the PBA was a natural extension of the work I was doing, attracting developers to Polkadot.
I see. So you were a tech guy.
It's a
initially.
tech recruiter. So I
I
don't
see.
have a background as a developer, but I'm a little bit of a blockchain nerd, I guess, from the user side. So that's how I found myself to Parity.
I see. Thank you. So
Yeah.
how about
Amazing.
Alexandra?
Yeah, Max is our multifaceted person at the academy too.
Thanks, Alexandra.
Wearing many hats, so very grateful to have him. So hi, I'm Alexandra. I actually come from the Web2 world, so working on marketing and community building before coming to the PBA. And actually I heard about the PBA through an advertisement on LinkedIn. I thought, wow, this is an amazing opportunity because I was interested in the Web3 space, but I kind of didn't know how to enter it. So I thought it was a great gateway for me to learn about it, to get involved into the ecosystem. So yeah, I'm really grateful. And since then, it's been really a great journey of personal growth and development and some knowledge about blockchain as well, in addition to that.
So you were in Web 2 and then you moved to Web 3, but
Yeah.
when was that?
That was about 2 years ago. So actually I've joined the academy
see.
from the beginning, yeah.
Ah, I see. And I also know that PBA already happened for 5 times already. This one is the 5th time, right?
Yep, that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, correct.
So congratulations first,
Thanks
like
so
for
much.
these milestones already. So tell me more about the PBA first. When does it start, and then what is the mission of it?
Yeah, so the PBA started 2 years ago. So in 2022, it's a vision of Gavin Wood. So he founded the academy with a view to create a new pipeline of talent into the Polkadot ecosystem. So instead of fighting the pool of existing developers and trying to bring them to your site to contribute to your ecosystem, the idea was actually to develop your own blockchain engineers that could create and build the Polkadot ecosystem and make it stronger.
Yeah, I think the talent piece was certainly the impetus, but I think with this goal in mind, there was also this vision of creating like a pretty deeply academic curriculum and institution for Polkadot, and I think we've largely accomplished that. So the academy strives to not just be like a training course, but it also teaches kind of some foundational elements and I guess philosophy that we hope the students might take with them in their career.
So can I know a little bit more specific about, how's the program going on, like divided into different sections, how it's going for you?
Yeah, so we've got a curriculum that's broken down into 7 modules currently. So
7
some of
modules.
those are more, like I said, foundational or kind of like primitive elements. So cryptography, economics,
Okay.
like blockchain basics, and now governance, which is new for this version of the academy. And then we really get down into like the guts of blockchain development, specifically with the Polkadot perspective, cover smart contracts and all the pieces in Polkadot SDK.
I see. So, running along with all the sections like that, you guys have met like a lot of students, right? So, first of all, I want to know what is the criteria? Is there any criteria for students to take part in this? And also, is there any like highlights, like moments with students that you want to share?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the criteria we have is being actually good in Rust.
Okay.
So we don't require any blockchain knowledge
Okay.
prior to coming to the academy, but you have to be literate in Rust because you have to know the coding language. Because since everything is based on that, and if you don't have it, then it's going to be really impossible to follow the curriculum.
Yeah, I think with that being said, as kind of a firm prerequisite, we see a lot of students who have no professional Rust experience. They've maybe only looked at the language before from a high level. They generally tend to learn the language with the hopes of coming to the PBA and actually passing our entrance exam. So we have an entrance exam that's kind of like a offshoot of Rustlings. If you're familiar with learning Rust, you've probably heard of that, and it's really focused on like the parts of Rust that you really need to succeed at the academy. So that's hopefully a really useful exercise for students to kind of learn Rust as they prepare for the academy itself.
Yeah, actually, we have a funny story. One of the students actually learned Rust in, I think, 3 days. Passed the exam, was actually one of our best students, I think on the second or third cohort. So yeah, so there are examples like that for sure.
Well, that student must be a genius, I guess, because I'm not a tech girl, and anything about tech, I'll be wow. But like, as I imagine, like is it for you guys? Is it like really hard to learn the Rust language?
I think every developer kind of has a different background. So I think developers coming from a more systems programming background, they get some of the elements of Rust already from C or C++ and might even like some of the decisions Rust has made. Yeah, certainly if you're coming from a different background as a developer, I think there's maybe more hurdles to go over, but we still have a really large base of applications always and students who attempt the Rust exams. So far, it's been a kind of reasonable acceptance criteria for us.
I really want to go back to the Polkadot world a little bit
Yeah,
because
sure.
I believe that you guys also like Polkadot lover. So, what are your thoughts on Polkadot? Why do developers want to build on Polkadot?
Yeah. So I think a lot of the concepts that Polkadot really stands for attracts the developers. So when we talk to our students, a lot of the times they actually come to the academy because they're attracted by the philosophy that goes with the Polkadot. And I think that's really a strong point of attractions for a lot of them.
Yeah, I think it's a really obviously big developer community here on Polkadot. It's the second largest community of developers in a blockchain ecosystem, right behind Ethereum, which obviously had a bit of a head start. I think that's really appealing. I think like the elegance of some of the technical design is really appealing. And I think as we enter into this new phase of Polkadot with Polkadot 2.0 and Jam, I think there's a lot of exciting things still yet to be built. And we see that attracting new developers as well.
Yeah, some of them I think just like a challenge, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, any students that you find they running into a lot of challenges during the PBA here? Can you share with us some of the moments? Anyone cried out for
Yeah, I mean,
for help?
in a way, yes. I think we try to do a good job preparing them mentally for the experience.
Which means it needs to be prepared, like they need to be prepared mentally.
I think that's maybe even more important than the hard skills, right? Like we say here at the academy, you need Rust and you need rest to succeed. So it's an intensive program here. It's full time, sometimes even more than full time. So we're using even Saturdays, sometimes Sundays even for course material. And then there's also a number of assignments. So I think this time we had around 10 assignments in total. So there's almost always an assignment to work on, which is kind of homework. So it's a really intensive program, and I think that's where students maybe struggle the most is with handling kind of the intensity. But on the other hand, it's something that people really want, right? Whenever there's a kind of an empty gap in the program, I think students tend to suggest, oh, why don't we do this with the time? Or like, I wish we had more time to learn about it. It's a trade-off that we have, but it's something that we've seen the intense full-time model working really well.
Yeah, and it's a learning opportunity for the students. I think they really to grab it with both hands, and assignments is an important part to really put the theory that they've learned into practice. I think they really appreciate and see that.
Yeah.
But the academy is not all about the sitting in the lectures and doing the assignments. Actually, we have a fantastic ops team, and I want to give a shout out to Erin and Alicia, who are absolutely amazing, actually putting it all together and doing events. So we do organize events throughout. Well, they actually do organize those events throughout the academy, really making sure that there is a time for the students to bond, to network, and to actually have fun together, right? Just to get them out of the classroom a little bit and to socialize and to have a lot of really nice memories after the academy when they go back home.
I think it's great to highlight that this whole process is not just learning, right? It's also about like socializing, also about connecting. But I can see like the schedule all in like 5 weeks, right? Is it 5 weeks? So
Yeah, 4.5.
it's quite like condensed, right? It's very condensed. So how the whole team works together to come up with that schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the curriculum, it's always it's kind of a permanent tension of how much time do we spend on this versus how much time we spend on that. It's never the same. So though we've ran 5 academies, it's kind of something that we're always iterating on, and we are always testing new things. You know, what if we tweak the assignment like this? Maybe we should add some more lectures like this. Works, and let's see how that feeds into the other content. So I think, we do some testing in live, even though content is pretty battle tested at this point. And I think that helps us to stay fresh, stay up to date with, Polkadot's changing technology, and also put together, hopefully, a pretty cohesive curriculum.
Yeah, and we're very lucky. Actually, we have some of the faculty members who have been with us from the onset,
Yes.
and actually seen their curriculum evolve, and they can always advise us. And they actually the ones, for example, this time around, right? The proposal of the Polkadot SDK. So we're putting together some modules to make sure that they can adapt to the class. And I think one of the feedbacks we get also from the faculty team is that each academy is a little bit different, even though some of the parts of the curriculums are the same, but they try to adapt it to the students, to the questions, or maybe some of the difficulties that the students have. And actually this time around, we also have the governance module, which is a new introduction because of OpenGov and because of the new changes in the Polkadot ecosystem. We try to reflect it and, as Max said, to be fresh and to make sure that it actually goes hand in hand with whatever is changing within Polkadot.
Yeah, definitely. I think you raise a really good point in that, like, we as the PBA staff, we have a vision for maybe how we think we can organize the PBA, or what's relevant to Polkadot. But really, we'd be nowhere without our faculty. And as Alexandra has said, many of them have been around since the inception of the PBA. So they carry a lot of the weight, I guess, when it comes to educating the students.
Like this whole academy needs a lot of people, I think, a lot of minds to put in it. How about like comeback students, right? They're like, this is the 5th time. So since the first academy up to now, do you get like comeback students or different period, different students?
Yeah, we have students who come back as faculty. Actually, we have students who teach and who come back as technical assistants. So, today we've had Maciej teaching, for example, Agile core time, because he's been a student in Wave 2, and now with the new technology, he's bringing that to the students. We've had Ada, Siska, and Bradley teaching a Polkadot module this week. So actually, a lot of them come back and excited to be as teaching assistants and as instructors, and Andrew as well. On the blockchain module,
yeah, I think it's a bit of a proof of that we're executing on the mission, right? And that a lot of the Polkadot core developers now, or members of the Polkadot Technical Fellowship, are Academy alumni. I think of the current 60 or so members of the fellowship, about 20% attended the academy, which is pretty great. Of course, we see that increasing, and we'd like to see that increase, but great step so far.
That's actually a really nice, good news for the team.
Yeah.
And I think we cover much of the topics today. One last question. So, are there any new plans for the PBA this next year?
Yeah, sure. So we've got a full schedule
Okay.
for the rest of the year and going into next year. One new thing that we introduced here at PBA 5 is a synchronous remote cohort. So this was our first time doing the program online, or at least partially online. This actually, I think exceeded our expectations in a lot of ways. So we had really strong performance from the majority of remote students and a high completion rate, and that's really exciting for us because in the end of this year we're planning to release in designed for online curriculum, and this will be called PBAX. That's the working title right now. And this is, I think, really interesting for us to also trial new formats with the curriculum, with assignments, with asynchronous and synchronous learning mixed together in one program. And yeah, hopefully should usher a new wave, the PBA. So I think we've had Polkadot 1.0. I think we've also had PBA 1.0 in a sense, and we're kind of transitioning to PBA 2.0
Wow.
now.
Yeah, feels like the end of an era, doesn't it?
A bit, but
But it's a new
New
era.
beginning,
Yeah,
new beginning. One
I-
is ending, the other one is beginning. Absolutely, yeah. So the scalability factor is very important for us because it's an answer to what the community has been asking of us to make sure that it's more inclusive and more students who might not be able to travel can actually participate with the academy. Even though we've been taking the academy across the globe to different continents, of course, still there are restrictions to some students that might not be able to attend. So we really want to encapsulate that and make sure that they can also benefit from this educational program. And yeah, we're really grateful for the Polkadot community to be so supportive of us. And yeah, we count on their support going forward.
yeah, thank you for the time today. It was fun
Thank
talking.
you. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
been
so
very
much.
inspirational for me as well. To see that they are actually an academy for all the builders here. Right. It's lovely to meet you guys today.
Awesome. Good to
Thank
have
you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.